Okay, I've received a package from Japan today, so it's time to unbox a new fishing reel. Just grab the Swiss Army knife fisherman's version. So this came by DHL today from Japan, and it's a purchase through Digitaka. It's the first time I've purchased anything through them. Comes with a nice sticker from Digitaka. What else? And some social media stuff. Open her up. So this is my first look at the Daiwa Gekkabijin X reel, which is used for finesse fishing applications. SLP Plus. Comes with all the usual paperwork. The schematics. Daiwa reel instructions. The reel handle, it's very helpful. The shims, which probably very rarely get used by anyone. It's to improve your line lay. If the line lay is lopsided when you are spooling your reel. Something in Japanese that I can't read. That's a surprise, it comes with a nice little bag. It's not a very high quality bag, but it's nice nonetheless. And here's the reel. Take the handle out. So this is a 2000 size reel, and what I have to do here, because us Australians are a bit strange, we like to put the reel handle on the right hand side, most of us anyway. So I need to take the seal off. This is a waterproof seal for the handle. There it goes. And I need to pop it on to the right hand side. Just push that down and make sure it sits properly. Grab the handle. It's a nice screw-in handle. There we go. Pop the cap on this side. And there we have it. So this is the Daiwa Gekkabijin X. This is the budget version of the Gekkabijin range. There's the Gekkabijin regular reel, which is the next step up from this, and I'll talk through some of the features in a minute. But this is the Gekkabijin X LT Light Tough 2000S. So it's a shallow spool reel, and the P, as far as I can understand, stands for the gear ratio. So it has a slow gear ratio, and that slow gear ratio is 4.8, so it retrieves line at a far slower speed than, of course, the 5.1 or the 5.2 or obviously the 6 gear ratios that you see on regular reels. Most of the Daiwa reels are around the 5 to 5.2 range, so this is a much slower retrieval reel designed for finesse applications. And in Japan they use it to catch horse mackerel that require a slow retrieve, so they can very slowly hop the lure across the rocks or the weeds or the sand and track the horse mackerel. The idea is with me that I'm going to use it to catch bream, and because it's a finesse fishing reel, the bream in Australia, especially in my part of the world, in Melbourne, Victoria, the black bream, they like a slow retrieve. So I'm going to try this on the bream. I've got some Daiwa J thread that I'm going to pop on. So that's straight through fluorocarbon line that I'll be putting onto this reel. So just a few more features of the reel. We've got weight 190 grams. I'll just check that. See if that's true or not. Probably a margin of error with my cheap scales. Well, it's a lot cheaper. That's a lot lighter. So we're coming in at about 187 grams on my scales, and these scales are generally only off by about 1 gram. So that's a lot lighter than advertised. So that's a real positive. Comes with 5 kilos of maximum drag, or 11 pounds, and yeah, there's that line retrieval, 63 centimeters or 21 inches per crank, and it's got 5 bearings, so 5 metal bearings as opposed to plastic bushings in it. It talks about braid, PE4, P 0.4 braid or 0.05 millimeter braid. You're going to get 200 meters. And I expect to probably get about 100 meters or so out of that Daiwa J thread finesse fluorocarbon line that I'm going to put on the reel. Okay, so first turn of the handle. It's a very small handle as well. This is the smallest Daiwa handle by far that I've ever used. Let's try and grab another small Daiwa handle if I can. So here's my Daiwa Fuego, also similar colors, and this is not the best method for comparing, but you can see my Daiwa Fuego 2000 size has a significantly bigger handle knob than the one on the Gekkabijin X. So it has a very small, lightweight finesse handle knob, and that's obviously due to its application for catching small fish using very light lures. So yeah, my first impression is just how small the handle is. It's a really tiny handle, and it's not uncomfortable at all. It's pretty good. It's got a high grip knob on it, so it is a bit more grippy. Yep, it's certainly a little bit more grippy than the regular standard knob on my Daiwa Fuego 2000. It's got a very crisp action on the bail arm. That's really nice, actually. Yeah, one of the things that I like about it, it's a JDM only reel, and so therefore it's quite unique. I won't see too many of them around the traps. It's mag sealed as well, so it's used for light saltwater application. Definitely not heavy saltwater application, but yeah, definitely the mag seal is going to protect you from some saltwater ingress. It does have the reverse and anti-reverse lever on it at the back there. Some of the other features of this reel, it has your air drive design, which is your air drive rotor, and which is obviously here. This is your rotor. It's got your air drive bail, so it's got a very nice thin bail as opposed to the much thicker bail on a lot of the other Daiwa reels. It's made from Zion V or Zion 5, which is that lighter carbon material as opposed to aluminium. It has the Daiwa ATD Type L drag system, which Daiwa says works really smoothly in response to the pull of the fish. So that's some pretty sophisticated and clever drag that they've got in these reels as well. Gekkabijin means moonflower or something similar in Japanese, and you can see the crescent moon design here on the reel, which was really cool. It's a beautiful looking black and red reel with some chrome features on the back, obviously. And that's one of the things that definitely attracts me to the reel. It's just a good looking little reel. And another cool feature is that that crescent moon is noticeable in the artwork around the reel handle. So that is also a crescent moon in red just around the reel handle, which is a nice little touch. So this reel costs 165 Australian dollars, or thereabouts. That's what I paid for it. The conversion rate with the yen's pretty good at the moment. This is around about 100 to 105 US dollars, and 1,505 yen. Well, it's always hard to check the drag sound properly when you're just turning it yourself, but it has a really, really nice crisp sound on it straight away out of the box. And I'll be interested to see if it still sounds as crisp once I've got line on it. But yeah, it's going to make a really nice sound once it's got a fish on the end of it. It's nice and smooth to turn. It definitely has some resistance. It's not going to be the at the same level as some of the other ultralight fishing reels when it comes to turning the handle in terms of resistance. But it's obviously not hard to turn. But it does require a bit of effort compared to some of the other Daiwa light tackle fishing reels. The main difference between this reel and the regular Gekkabijin, as far as I can tell, is that the regular Gekkabijin has the monocoque body design, whereby there aren't any screws in the design, screws in the body, so that increases its strength and also means that it should effectively last longer, and there's less chance of water getting into the reel, and also fewer parts, and therefore fewer things to replace, fewer things that could go wrong. I believe it also makes it really hard to service, but if you like servicing your reels yourself, you might have a bit of a challenge because it is harder to get open, but I'm sure there's ways around that. Okay, so I'll put the Daiwa J thread on, I'll spool the reel, and I'll go and take some video of the reel outside in the natural light. So this reel has a beautiful red spool. It's actually a shame that we're going to be covering up that beautiful red spool with line.